Hello, good morning from California and good afternoon from the UK. And of course, like you are watching us live now, especially from Nepal and other parts of South Asia. Of course, this is going to be a great live session today because we have a very good university representing the UK education. They are from the Montfort University, Leicester City, and it's a gold-rated top university and a very popular one. And next to me, I have Mr. Martin Booth, who is the uh, regional manager for South Asia and Southeast Asia, and of course the UK International. Welcome, Martin, to the event.
Hi, thanks very much, Perrin. Very good to be here, and looking forward to talking about the university with all the students who joined, especially from Nepal. So thanks very much.
Yeah, it's a good to see you and have you here as well. Likewise, we have Mr. Amar from the UK, the university itself, in De Montfort University. He is country manager as well. So, Amar, welcome to the event.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be on your events. One of the loveliest events that we enjoy actually doing. Thank you for the invitation again.
Great, same here. And yes, like, my very close friend, I would say, like, and country manager for Nepal, Mr. Joseph Agar, and we call him Joe. And we often chat about the market and the students' voices, the university, and the UK situation over the phone. And that gives us fresh information, or first-hand information to share with our potential students in Nepal and South Asian market. Thanks, Joe, for that, and welcome to this show today.
Thank you, Bowen. Thanks for those kind words, and I'm very happy to be here with you and Bradford Global to speak to all of your students, especially from Nepal.
Absolutely. Welcome you all once again, and we all want to welcome the students watching us live right now, and of course, like you all see us here today. We are 4 people here on the same platform, and of course, want to address any questions that you may have regarding your studies in the UK, especially at the De Montfort University. We call it DMU, which is a great university for the reasons like, they offer the programs like business, engineering, health sciences, and arts as well, which are always top on the line. So please feel free to ask your question, and of course, just listen to us and see, it could be your next choice regarding your study plans in the UK. Thank you once again for your introduction and for giving this opportunity to Bradford Global, Mr. Martin, Mr. Agar, and Mr. Joe. All right, let's make it even better session today, so it will be more informative to aspiring students. We are receiving so many inquiries these days regarding the UK, and of course the good news is other countries' borders are not open yet. When I'm talking about the countries, especially the countries like Australia, even Canada, or US is open, but not. But the visa sections not taking interviews, especially Nepal and some parts in South Asia. That means UK is very flexible to international student. Good news is also they are providing vaccines to international students as well, and also over, I believe, 15 million people got vaccinated in the UK as of now.
Actually, funny enough, I was looking at that just a few minutes ago, and I was talking to my daughter. As of, I think, yesterday, there were over 16 million people to date in the UK that have been given their first dose of the vaccine. It's been rolled out really, really quickly. The plan is that they're saying that all over 50s should hopefully be vaccinated by the end of March. And the plan is, and the government wouldn't say this if they didn't think they were going to exceed it, is that all over 18-year-olds who want to have the vaccine will have the opportunity to have the vaccine well before September. I would suspect it'll be quite a bit before then. I think the key thing there is that students that are maybe thinking about joining the university, our next intake is September. Clearly, the UK is going to be in a very, very good situation by then. So I'd really encourage students from a COVID situation to really consider the UK, because we really are going to be in a good position. And obviously, students who are finding that not only how will I be learning, that's going to be great, but also students are going to be able to enjoy sort of student life, be able to go out and meet people in a way that we're all currently restricted. But it's really optimistically a very, very good story at the moment. When you look at all the statistics, they're all coming down really, really fast. And obviously, with the vaccines coming in, it means that they're not going to go back up again because the people aren't going to be catching the virus and then potentially passing it on. So it's a good story there. So it's a good news for potential students and obviously families who are thinking about maybe sending their sons and daughters to the UK and to Montfort for September.
Absolutely. So quickly, I want to ask Mr. Zhou before we start other presentation, other topics. So, what you getting, what you hear from international students, especially from our region, about the situation? Like, they want to push back their plans to next intake, let's say September, other intake, or like they still coming in. Mr. Amar or Mr. Zhou, please.
Yeah. So students are still coming to the university, and of course we did have really high volume of students coming for the January intake. And I guess the really crucial thing to kind of take into consideration is that the situation is generally improving a lot in the UK right now. And as Martin said, with the vaccines as well, that's really positive news. And I guess for your students, the most important thing for them to consider right now is that they need to kind of move forward with their application sooner rather than later. Because if they wait, until June or July, it's going to be way too late, because of course, as last year, as you know, lots of students deferred to this year. So we're expecting record numbers of students applying. So it is really of the essence that students are proactive. And if anybody's watching right now and you're considering applying, please do contact Powin and his team at Bradford Global, and they can help you, move forward with your application further.
Absolutely. Thanks for recommending us in Nepal and other countries. Of course, we have great privilege, great stories to share with us, with you all watching us live today as well. We have no single visas denied for this intake, and it was for September 2020 as well. So we've been very active even in this challenging time, and we know that students still want to switch to the UK and the university like the Montfort University, and we are here at Bradford Global in Nepal and everywhere to support all the students regarding their studies. Omar, from your region, quickly, can you add about the students' intention?
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, I'll speak from my experience. I'm an international student myself, and I think it's a great opportunity, especially when students are planning to come and hopefully, as Martin and Joe mentioned, things are getting better and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And hopefully with the multicultural, and Joe will mention this shortly about the different nationalities and different background that we have, it will be a great educational journey in the UK. Leicester is one of the top 10 cities to live and work and study in the UK.
Great. Thanks for sharing that insight as well. And Martin, you are quite much involved with international students, and so from Europe as well. With the Brexit, what do you think? The number gonna be stable, or some situation gonna change? What is it?
Well, actually, that's a very, very good question. So, I think the landscape's changed quite a bit for students who are joining from Europe. The main sort of impact of the UK leaving the European Union is that students from Europe, basically before, they were paying home fees, which are a little bit less than international fees, and they also had access to the UK student loan. That's changed a little bit, so they have to pay a little bit more in terms of fees, and they don't have direct access to the student loan, so a little bit more difficult. But the university, we've been doing lots and lots of work to support students and help them. And one of the key things there is that there's a few little conditions, but basically almost every single European student, if you are a European person living in Europe, then we are offering a discount, which basically means that rather than paying international fees, you pay the home fee. So there's a big advantage there. And the university, not only for Europeans, but for international students, Nepalese students, we do have payment programs, so students can pay as they go along, which can help as well.
Great. So, like, there is like payment flexibility as well as the support during this pandemic as well. So, yeah, this is great news, and of course, like, we got to hear that very clearly, and that absolutely helps us as the agent and the students who are planning to come to the UK at the Montfort University. And it's such a pleasure to work with you all at the Montfort University as your approved agent in Nepal and globally. Thank you for that opportunity. All right, so we're gonna start probably a slide. I believe Joe had told me, like, we're gonna have a new slide and exciting updates on that. So is that true, Joe?
Yeah, so we're going to show you a slightly updated presentation, which is a little bit more user friendly. You're going to see some nice photos as well of the city of Leicester and our campus. So yeah, let's dive into it, and I'll share my screen.
Joe, before we start, would you like me to do a little introduction, maybe?
Sure. Yeah, please.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just take a few minutes if that's okay, because I like to. So I think, yeah, one of the really important things about the Montfort University is we're based in the city of Leicester. If Leicester is known for one thing, it's being an international city. But more crucially than that, there's a very, very, very large community of South Asian people living in the city who've been living in the city for a very long time. What that really means for students, wherever they're coming from internationally, they're going to be right home, but specifically from South Asia region and Nepal, the students know that when they come to Leicester, they're going to be studying, but crucially living in a city, which is obviously it's a British city and students can enjoy that aspect of it, but they also know that it's a very South Asian city. So they're going to be, it's almost going to be a little bit like a home from home, if you like. So students can buy the foods that they buy at home, religious practices. To give you an example, we have in the city the largest Diwali celebrations outside of India anywhere in the world. Joe will probably talk a little bit about that. But it's a really important and key thing and advantage for students from Nepal, knowing that the city is like really an ideal city for people coming from that part of the world. Also, the city last year was voted top 3 in terms of affordability for students. So students know that compared to other cities in the UK, you're going to be able to afford really good accommodation, food is expensive, etc., compared to other cities. We have around about 450 programs. You covered some of the subject areas. And I'd say it's not by accident that many of those programs will tend to be the kind of programs that students coming from internationally, but Nepalese students will be thinking about studying when they're thinking about the UK. So we might not always have the exact program for everyone, but I would say in most cases, we probably will all have something very similar. So I'd encourage you to speak to Bradford Global, who obviously know our program offering very well and can talk you through that. One other very last and key thing I'll say, the university has a statistic around employability. That's 97.3%. So what that means is students, after they finish their program, within 6 months, have either gone into graduate type employment, not just employment, graduate type employment, or gone on to further studies. That percentage is well above average for the UK, and indeed is well above what many of the very, very highest ranking universities are achieving. So it's a couple of 3 really key points there. Anyway, thanks very much. Just want to say those short things before I pass over to Joe.
Yeah, thanks for saying that insight. Absolutely, like the employability is a great thing, and like you just outlined all those features about coming to Leicester City and studying at Dmu, the Montfort University. I think it's a great achievement, a lifetime achievement for every single student. Thanks for establishing that truth. Joe, over to you.
That's great. Thank you both. I'm going to share my screen with you now. Just bear with me 2 seconds.
All right. In the meantime, I would like to welcome you all who have just joined us now. Please feel free to ask any question during the session, and we'll be taking your question one by one basis. And absolutely, when you are thinking about the UK, of course, you are thinking about the clubs, the English Premier League. Of course, everybody is a part of that. Like in a sense, like we just can't miss the game. So King Power. So that's a Leicester City team, and of course, like they are one of the top teams, English teams, I would say. And I believe, like they had recently like clinched the championship. I think 3 or 4 years back. I'm not really sure, like when exactly. So Leicester City, of course, that's the team. So I enjoy watching them, and Bardi. That's a great name in the team, and of course, like while you are students and studying at GMU, not just the foods that you will be enjoying, the culture you'll be enjoying, and the people that you meet with. Of course, these things, you can go enjoy your weekends and watch those games, and have that experience for your for your life, let's say. So yeah, glad to say that too. And of course, UK is rich in soccer games, of course, world famous teams, and one of them in Leicester City. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you, Bowen. I'm just going to share my screen with you now.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I got it now. Yeah,
That's
dear
great.
viewers, now we're gonna have a short presentation by Mr. Jawagir, who is the country manager for Nepal, and he is here with us today, along with regional manager Mr. Martin Booth and country manager Mr. Agar. Mr. Agar, I would say. All right. So I'm sorry, I couldn't pronounce the last name. Fayad, right? Mr. Fayad, right? I think your mic is mute.
Oh, sorry, on mute. Yeah, Fahad. Yeah, close enough.
Okay, next time I'll make sure that I know that completely clear. Thanks, and let's watch the presentation. It's not just about like watching the presentation; it's about knowing a lot of facts about choosing the DMU programs. Let's go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Bowen. And just kind of following on from what Martin said, we are a university that is TEF Gold accredited. We were awarded this by the UK government in 2017. And you can see it in the right-hand corner of this page. And we'll talk about that in more detail as we go along in the presentation.
Sure.
So this slide here just shows you at a high level some of the key characteristics of De Montfort University. And as Martin has already alluded to, De Montfort is based in Leicester, which is very much not only an international city, but also a South Asian city. So for you, for all of the Nepalese students watching right now, that should really show to you that you'll have a home away from home whilst you're living in Leicester and studying at De Montfort University. So we're just over an hour away from London on a train. We're about 40 minutes from Birmingham, 50 minutes from Nottingham. So it's a very centrally located city, which makes it easy for you to travel to other cities for business or visiting friends or family. Only recently as well, Leicester was actually voted as one of the best cities in terms of entrepreneurship. So if we have any students who are watching right now who are budding entrepreneurs or want to start up their own business, it could be a good place for you to, start your own business once you graduate from De Montfort. Mm-hmm. So yeah, generally we have approximately 27,000 students from around 135 different countries. So crucially, for you, this should really show you that you're not only going to get a good British experience, you're going to come across people from all over the world. So you're going to learn about different cultures, different languages, and hopefully make friendships and connections which will last a lifetime, especially in this ever interconnected world. Okay, so this slide here just shows you some of the kind of key characteristics of Leicester itself. And as Pawan mentioned, of course, we have Leicester City, and of course, Bardi is there as well with Mahrez and Shinji Okazaki, who won the Premier League in 2016. So as of right now, we're third in the Premier League, so we're still doing well. I guess crucially...
Excuse me, Joe, I think the slide is not coming, or is it? I think you are on the third slide, I believe. But we just have the first slide hanging in.
Okay, can you not see the photos of the city itself?
Martin, do you see the same?
No, we can't.
Okay. Can you see this slide of the university?
On my screen, it is the first page of your slide.
Okay. Just bear with me 2 seconds.
Martin, your mic is mute. Oh yeah, now I can.
I'm just going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to reshare it. Just bear with me 2 seconds, because it might
All
just
right,
be
please.
a technical issue.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
I just. Mhm. All right, I got that. Now let's do this. Yeah. All right.
Just bear with me 2 moments. Just let me know if you can see this.
If you could, if you don't mind, can you go to the second slide and just say one or two words on that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, can you see that now?
I have the third slide now. If you could go back to the second, would be great.
Yeah. So can you? 1 second.
All right. Yeah. Now it's coming.
Just bear with me 2 moments.
No worries. No worries. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see that now?
No, I think you need to share your screen now. That was completely removed, so I don't know. Please share your screen one more time.
2 moments.
Okay. There you go. All right. Yeah. This is it. Yep. Yeah, we're back. Yeah.
Can you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Just put it into slideshow mode, maybe, Joe.
It is in slideshow mode. It's fine. It should.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see this slide here? Is that working now?
Yeah, it's working now.
Cool. So yeah. So as we were saying, here are some photos of Leicester itself and some of the key kind of attractions for students to get involved with. And as Paolo mentioned as well, of course, we have Leicester City. In 2016, we won the Premier League. And as of right now, we're still doing well. We're third in the league. And I guess crucially for students, especially during normal times and as COVID starts to improve, you will get a chance to attend games and visit the stadium, buy some, merchandise and so on. So it can really, for you can build an identity for yourselves away from, whilst you're studying abroad, as well, within, 10 minutes walk away from our campus, we have around 4 to 5 different parks. So that's a really good chance for you to make the most of nature, kind of switch off away from your studies as well and hang out with your friends. We also have a shopping centre, which is a 5-minute walk away from our campus itself. Has a range of clothing shops, bars, restaurants, a bowling alley, crazy golf centre. So there's plenty of things for you to do outside of your studies whilst you're here in Leicester to keep you entertained.
So I'm sorry to stop you here, because the slide that we can see here is not moving from second slide. I don't know if other Martin, you also not saying that, right?
Yeah. I'm seeing the not in slideshow mode, and it's not moving, as you say. Correct.
Maybe some issues there. So while you're fixing it, I'll be just playing a little video about us. And yeah, it's just a little technical glitches, but yeah, we'll fix it. All right. So in the meantime, I'll be playing our video about new portal. Yes. That was about our new portal, just like a name, Apply Global. And Joe, if you want to share your screen, and I can pull it up.
Bear with me 2 minutes.
Okay. There you go. We are on the first now, and maybe we should go back to the back to 3, third one about the team.
Okay, so can you see those photos now?
No, because I would see on your slide, that is stock in number 1. If you could just drop down the.
Just bear with me 2 moments. What I'm going to do is.
So while you're fixing that, we just want to ask Mr. Amar about your experience as an international student. What sort of programs your friends were interested in, and now you see the students coming into.
Oh, that's a very good question, actually. I personally studied something related more to science, and I've made friends, and I'm networking with other colleagues, and actually still friends now in business and in computing and engineering in general. I mean, in each faculty, I would say there are like top courses and of course other courses depending on the background where the students are applying from, and yeah, so in De Montfort, the good thing is in each faculty, and I'm sure Joe will mention this in the presentation soon, we have a placement team. And this placement team will help each and every student that are planning to apply and or network or do any volunteering work, if you will, just to increase their experience, add that color to the CV, and it will help them. But yeah, as my experience as an international student, I would say I've met students and friends from all the faculties, which is really again absolutely amazing experience, and I've learned a lot from different backgrounds. I mean, from engineering and business and the health and life sciences.
Great. I have like Joe's screen here. Let me try this once. Joe, can we check now?
Yeah, let me just give it a go. And if it doesn't work this time, we'll ask Ammar if he can share his screen, because my computer actually has been having problems today. I was praying in as many languages as I could that it will be working for today's session, but we'll try it for the last session.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
And then we'll pass it over to Ammar if it doesn't work.
Okay.
Just bear with me 2 moments.
Sure.
I think my computer thinks it's Monday today, and I keep having to remind it it's not. It's Friday, you know.
Some issues with that, of course. Yeah.
Just 2 seconds.
All right. Yeah, dear viewers, like thanks for joining us right now, and of course, we appreciate your patience, and we are just having a little issue on Joe's computer, and so the slide is stuck somewhere, but we're trying our best to get it better. So I got Amar's request for his screen also. So can I pull that up?
Yeah. So I'll just share my screen again, but just can you see it? Is it working this time?
I think I am in.
I just authorized Joe again. So can you check, Joe?
Okay, just 2 moments. Okay, I'm just gonna unshare it and then reshare it again. Just 2 moments.
All right, then let's wait for that. Like I think
that's mine, and I think mine is working. If you want me to jump in.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, let's do it.
Fantastic. Thanks. All right, just let me know if the slides are moving or not. If not,
yeah, we can all do it together. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's the good thing about the teamwork. So yeah,
absolutely.
Are the pictures moving or the slides? Sorry.
What I would say, Amma, is that we're not seeing the presentation in slideshow mode. So if you have it in slideshow mode, we're not seeing that. Yeah, we're not seeing that. No.
Okay.
I don't know what's the issue, but it's moving now.
Oh, it is moving. So I'll do it without the slide mode then.
Yeah, it's moving now. Yeah,
it is moving.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do it like this then. All right, fantastic. Right, as Joe mentioned, and Joe, please feel free to jump in because you like the sports more than I do, and that's the Leicester City Football Club. He's a big fan. Yeah, and as Joe mentioned, we literally the city center is 5 minutes walk from the university campus, and again, that's another positive thing. As I'll speak from an international student point of view, you will save on transportation because we are 5 minutes walk away from the city center, so students can find accommodation easily. We're about 10 to 12 minutes walk away from the train station, again, in case students are interested in staying in that part of the town. So there is no need for transportation. We also have the Space Center here to the right, and again, one of the good things, if students are interested in the space sciences, and there are actually actual rockets there. We've been many times with our students. Absolutely amazing place. And this is where the King Richard III, as a historical place, as Joe and Martin mentioned, it is a British city with a rich history and, of course, with the multicultural backgrounds. Please, is this still? Can you still see this? I've changed the slide. Yeah, okay, fantastic. So that's a picture from the campus. On the top right, that's the Trinity House. I'm sorry, I'm hearing feedback. And on the left-hand side, that's the Vijay Patel building. That's where the art, design, the architecture courses are delivered. On the right bottom, that's the health and life sciences courses, and that's called the Hawthorne building, where the pharmacy and other courses are delivered. And the final picture on the right, on the left-hand side, from the bottom row, is the business and law building. Quickly, I will go through the buildings, and I'll tell you in each faculty. I mean, the university invested heavily in transforming the campus to a new and state-of-the-art building and equipment, and they spent over 136 million pounds on this building. The Vijay Patel, with the art and design, they spent over 58 million pounds. And they spent 8 million pounds. And again, I'm not the best person to speak about sports, but I've visited the place many times. They have a lovely swimming pool and wall climbing and all the sports and activities that the student can enjoy. Now, on the accommodation side, we have lots of variety for our international students, and it's guaranteed for our international students as well. We have them in 2 to 3 minutes walk away from the campus, so there's no way you can miss the lecture or the lab, of course. There's security always, all the time, and different varieties that they range in price from £95 a week to 130, depending on your choice of the accommodation. Now, I will briefly mention about the courses that we offer at Business and Law and the highlight. I always speak to our students and our business partner about the Bloomberg system that we have at the university, which is linked straight to the Wall Street stock market. Again, when I met students from different universities and different backgrounds, they did not have this opportunity to learn on this system, and they didn't have the experience. And again, that's the first thing Joe, Martin, and myself and other colleagues at the university, we advise our students, please do get in touch with your placement team at the faculty. They will be able to help you in anything related to applying for a volunteering job with our industrial links, or job opportunities. They can help you with the CV, they can help you with the cover letter, or they can help you with the interview skills. Now, the second part of the Business and Law slide is the Leicester Castle Business School. And as Joe mentioned, this is one of the longest running courts in the UK. What happened is the university just renovated, kept it as it is, and added all the technology features in terms of Wi-Fi and the screens for the students on the postgraduate level from the Business and Law faculty to have a different atmosphere and a unique experience that they can enjoy, of course. So a few of the courses that we run there, like the Global MBA, which is a really popular course for our international students. We have also the Diplomacy and World Order. That's another popular course for international students, and the Project Management, because we have students from different backgrounds like engineering and business, of course. They tend to enjoy this course. Here's this picture of one of our students with a professor in the Bloomberg system, the one that I mentioned earlier, which is linked straight to the street wall market. Yeah. Second faculty, as I mentioned, and it's really popular, the Computing Engineering and Media. And the reason why, because we have really popular courses with limited positions and seats. So we do advise, please get in touch, and we'll be able to help you. The two most popular courses are cybersecurity and cyber technology. Of course, the other courses are still popular, like the software engineering, the electrical and electronic engineering, and the aeronautical engineering as well. The reason why I mentioned the cybersecurity, because there is an increased demand worldwide, not only in the UK, for these jobs. We have excellent industrial links, of course, in the market, and we have actually guest speakers coming from different companies to meet with our students, give them real-time update about what's happening in the market. We had students that went to, of course, Microsoft, Deloitte, and Airbus, BT, Rolls-Royce to do their placements, and others they did their own job interviews there. This is a picture of the Queen's Building, which is where the Computer Engineering and Media programs are run. A lovely project where the students interested in the Formula One, from mechanical and electronic and different background from engineering students that work on. We have students year 3 and master students working on such projects. Another picture for our students here in the game production lab project. Apologies. Now the third faculty is the health and life sciences, and as I mentioned, I like it because of my degree there. Martin kindly mentioned about the employability rate, and it's not only for the health and life sciences, that's across the 4 faculties. It's 97.3, and that's above the average in the UK, which is 94. And the reason why, because we give the student the practical experience and the knowledge that they need to have so they can be ready in the market. And this statistics came from a 6 months period after the student graduated, and either they advanced to the postgraduate degree or to a job. A lot of the courses here, and I would like to mention the pharmacy in particular, because we've been running this over 100 years and it's accredited by the General Pharmaceutical Council, the GPHC, and that's something that we reassure our students and international students in particular. Other thing is, when it comes to pharmacy, we have the headquarters of Boots in Nottingham, and as Joe mentioned, it's a really very short journey from Leicester to Nottingham, so students can take their placement or do their work there. Of course, other courses, and they seem more popular now, unfortunately, after the pandemic, which is like the nursing courses, and it's open for international students, of course, and the biomedical sciences and advanced biomedical sciences as well. Here's a picture of our student doing their placement in a pharmacy, and that's before the pre-registration. The 4th faculty is the art and design, and that's the faculty I've mentioned earlier, and Joe mentioned, where the university invested over £58 million for the faculty, the building, the instrument, and the facilities. Now, I've heard from other students saying that we have attended other open days in other universities in the UK where they offer courses related to fashion, textile, and product design. What's the difference between you guys at Montfort and other universities? I would say, and that's again from the students' feedback, we have availability all the time in terms of studios. So the students don't need to book, for example, in advance a studio so they can do their own work, whether it's related to fashion, architecture, textile, footwear design. They can always have availability. The second thing is, and that's the most important in my view as an international student, that the student will have access to the academics and the student representative straight away. Anytime they have a question or concern, they are there to help them. There's a picture here. There's a picture here of the building inside. Again, I'm not the best to describe this, but from what I've heard from our students, this looks like the Harry Potter in terms of the stairs. But again, I did not watch the Harry Potter, so I'll trust our students' feedback.
I trust you because like my kids are watching Harry Potter episode right now. So
there you go. That's the validation I was looking for. Thank you for this feedback. In terms of this picture, that's called the Food Village, and this is where we have different kitchen variety for our students. So we have Italian, Greek, vegetarian, British, of course, and we have the halal food for students from an Islamic background. And we have something which is a bit light, like sandwiches, cold sandwiches, or maybe something like baked potatoes for students who are quick on a quick break. Again, like I mentioned, there is a city center 5 minutes walk away in case the students are not really interested in this food, but the price is really competitive because we know that we're trying to support our students during their lunch break on their educational journey, of course. I'm not going to repeat this because Joe mentioned this and you kindly mentioned this at the beginning in terms of the Gold Award, and this is a government tool that it's used to rank the universities in terms of excellence, student satisfaction, and the employability rate. And De Montfort was one of 33 different universities in the UK that they have been awarded with the Gold.
Teaching excellence. Yeah.
Exactly. And now, in terms of what Joe mentioned about the placement opportunities, we have different things, like I said at the beginning, and I keep repeating this because I'm really, really big fan of this placement team in each faculty because they know exactly where to guide the students and give them help. I mean, personally, when I arrived, I had a different format for the CV. And I've been told that this is not the way that you apply for jobs using this CV format. And again, this is an eye-opening for me, and it'll help me a lot during my volunteering and then later on my job opportunity. A few of the things that Joe mentioned, and I will mention again, that we have accreditation for over 170 courses at Dmu Montfort. So, for example, you can see here the RIBA, which is the Royal Institute of British Architecture, and we have, as I mentioned, the General Pharmaceutical Council, that's for the pharmacy program, and we have the CIMA, and that's for the management accountant. Also, we have over 2,000 work placements each year for our students, and this shows you and we can reassure your students about the availability and the support that we can give to our students. Here are a few logos, and again, I'll come to mention the United Nations now when we're talking about the Dmu Global. We have the Leicester City Football Club, excellent relationship. They're just around the corner, literally 15 minutes walk away from the campus. And we have students working in NHS, especially now for nursing students, helping during this pandemic.
Great.
And this is where, again, I've mentioned this 10 times, but this is where the placements, for example, in different faculties, where they have on the wall some advertisement, and they will give you help with the assessment or with the motivation letter or with the CV guide. And they will, of course, mention if there's any opportunities. So, for example, here, this picture, it will show you an Airbus opportunity, Hayes, Bupa insurance, and different positions, of course, for different faculties. And the students who are interested, they can approach the team and they will guide them through the process. Now, I promise I'll be very quick. This is the Dmu Global Park that I mentioned. It's a unique initiative for the Dmu University. It's not anywhere else. This is where the students will apply from different backgrounds to participate in one of our international trips. We run trips to New York, and this is the picture, and I'll describe this picture in a moment. New York, India, in Germany, different countries where the students can meet other, of course, colleagues, if I will say this, and hopefully friends from different universities around the world, and network and learn from there. So from this picture, we can see students here from the mechanical engineering at Dmu Montfort. They went to the Grand Central Station in New York just to learn about the underground system and how they run things and what's the upgrade and what's the process and the protocols followed there compared to the one in London, for example. Here we have students from the journalism and media when they went to the NBC studios, and again, that's something that opened their eye for a different culture, if you will, where the US is different from the UK in terms of media, like BBC, for example. Here where the students went for the game and art and design. And this is the highlight that I'd like to mention to our students all the time. Students from the business and law, they went to the United Nations, and actually few students managed to deliver a speech there. And I would recommend students, of course, to view this on YouTube. It's something that will students will ask, that's a great opportunity. How would this help in terms of employability? I would say if you add this on your CV compared to other students from the same, for example, program in different universities, they don't have the same experience that you do. And this will give you, of course, more chance in terms of percentage in securing a job. The things that Joe mentioned at the beginning, that we like to support our students before and after, of course, but I'll mention a few things here. We always offer a free airport pickup, and we will arrange this by sending an email to you so you can arrange your flight tickets, so you would know exactly when are we stationed at which airport, so you can join us. We have the International Welcome Week. This is where all the students from all the backgrounds, they will join together and meet with other friends and students and different societies, of course. We have something called the buddy scheme, and I think this is a unique thing that I would encourage students to take part in, which is a student, for example, a business background, joining year 1, they will introduce him to a student in year 3 or year 2. So in case the student is a bit shy at the beginning, they can ask their colleague or their peer compared to speaking with an academic at the beginning, just to get them used to the DMU atmosphere. It's like one big family, if you will.
Yeah,
and finally, yeah, exactly. And finally, I would mention the free English classes. And I'm sure all the students will come with good English, but sometimes they're a bit shy to practice English. And I would say this happened to me when I came, because English isn't my first language, and it was a bit difficult for me just to practice English with people. So it was really good to join such classes. So just to break that fear and start talking. And now my colleagues Martin and Joe always tell me to speak less. So yeah, you can tell the practice makes perfect, I would say. This is the the favorite slide for other for the international students. Hopefully the scholarships will remain the same for 2021. So what we had for 2019 and 2020 is the £1,500 on first come first serve basis. So the students are encouraged to please apply as soon as possible so you can secure this scholarship as long as it's available. The other scholarship is the £500 for the early bird discount. So in total you will have £2,000 if you paid your deposit earlier than the deadline. And we have also, of course, other scholarships like the Global MBA, that's up to 2,500. We have other scholarships like the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion, that's for the postgraduate level, taught only, not research, so MSc or MA. And it's competitive, of course, because students need to write a personal statement about this. And there will be a panel to select, and then they will announce the winner. And there's, of course, another scholarship, which is called Sustainability. And there's a dedicated link for this. Please do get in touch with us, and hopefully we'll be able to guide you. In terms of how to apply, I would say always get in touch with the legend, our guest here, and he will be able to guide you and answer your question. But in a nutshell, please complete the application form. If you need any help, please do get in touch with the team. The required documents, we always require the certificates, the transcripts. If they're not in English, please provide the original and the translated version. Focus, and that's the main advice I would give to the international student on the personal statement, because it's the key element for you to apply for and secure a position. In terms of English, if you're not and I understand during the pandemic, if you couldn't book the IELTS English test, we're more than happy at the Montfort to offer the Montfort Academic Test of English, which is called DATE, DATE, and it's free of charge for our students. Once you have applied, you will be given an ID number, a DMU ID number. And then we can book your English test. It's similar to IELTS in structure. It will be online over 2 days. The first day will be for reading and writing. The second day will be for speaking and listening. And hopefully after 5 working days, you will receive your results. And yeah, hopefully after that, you will be able to have your unconditional offer, pay the deposit, ask for the scholarship, and we will be able to generate the cash so you can apply for the visa, and we get to welcome you in September 2021. That's from my side. I'm sorry, I said I will speak well, quicker and not too much, but yeah, I do apologize. The mic is all yours, Pawan and Martin and Joe. If there are any questions, more than happy to help.
That was wonderful presentation, and great to learn about DMU's programs and the popularity among international students, and the facilities, and of course the fee structure. And again, the most sought after, things, that's a scholarship in different amounts, like 1,500, or if it is early bird, then an additional 500, and also you got MBA global scholarships as well of like 2,500. So that's a lot, and of course that helps the students, budget. Make their budget plans. That's great. All right. I want to learn more about this DATE test, DMU's internal English testing. I'm glad that this is still there because it was introduced during the pandemic last year, like Joe Martin also said about that. But I'm glad that it's continuing. So what would you say, you want to encourage the students take a test like TOEFL, IELTS, or like PTE, or this would be fine even with DMU's test?
Yeah. So one thing that we would say about the DMU internal English test is that it is free of charge. Mm-hmm. It's UKVI accredited, so it counts not only towards the offer letter but also the CAS. But it's also a good way for those students to kind of get used to how DMU operates. They'll get to meet the English team. They'll be in communication with us as well, and it just gives them a good chance as well. Especially if they don't have an IELTS, it's free of charge. The actual test is split over 2 days. So day 1, you'll do the reading and writing, and then day 2, you'll do a combined speaking and listening test. So in a sense, the fact that it's over 2 days makes it a lot more manageable for students. And if, let's say, if you weren't to achieve the grade you needed, you can retake the test again in 3 months' time. So that again is of value, and hopefully that reassures you and calms your nerves as well, that there is also another chance. It's not kind of, do or die in that sense.
That's great to hear, because if it is internal test by the university but not going to be recognized by the UKVI, then that would be the trouble, that would be the issue. But you confirm that this is the test which has been officially recognized by the UKVI. So in regards to visa and all, so it supplements that testing like IELTS or PTE. That means great. And thanks to Martin and all of you, for actually bringing this in. Helping the international students who could not sit for the IELTS test or such during the challenging time. Yet you have explored the solutions for them, and that absolutely helped the international students, from our region. Thanks again, Martin. What do you get to hear from the faculties, if you are hearing anything regarding the students' English level? In compared to a dead test approved and the regular persons, let's say, do you find any difference between the students who came with the dead testing and or others came with the IELTS or PTE? Please, if you could mention.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question, actually. Yeah, obviously there are various English tests that are being offered by different testing boards, etc. Sorry, I was passing me something. Excuse me.
Take your time.
And to be honest, we don't accept all of those tests. The reason we don't is for a good reason. I was talking earlier about how we have really good statistics about how students do after they study at the university. Part of that, and the English test is part of that, is making sure that students, when they join the university, their English level is at the appropriate level, so they're going to be able to follow the course and complete the course very well from an English standpoint. So certainly there's no problem at all with taking IELTS. That's a great test. I guess the downside of IELTS for students is you have to pay for it. So there's a cost attached to that. Our test is obviously it's been created by the university, and whilst it has all the approvals, etc., for visas, clearly, given that it was created by the university, students can be very comfortable in the fact that it's a test that will confirm to us and to the student that their level of English is appropriate to be able to join their program and understand and write at the level required. So it's a really good test. As Joe said, it's online. Crucially, it's free. So there's some really good benefits. And there are other tests, but we don't accept those. And that's because we find that they generally aren't a very good. They don't give us a good level of where the student actually really is. That's not very good for us. And obviously, it's not very good for the student because we don't want them to arrive and perhaps struggle with understanding or being able to write what's required. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So, there is no difference, between the students who took DMU's test and who had this a regular IELTS test. That means the class hasn't got such a let's say such a negative feedback because. Some would say the standard tests are like this IELTS, PTE or such. So the internal test may not supplement that requirement. So I was just asking that question to you just to help our students DMU's test is as strong as this IELTS test PTE because it's equally recognized by the UKVI. All right. So, we are continuing with this. And of course, we wanted to talk about the main topics this here that I have just popped up. like we covered so many things during the slide as well. So program wise, Joe and Amir both mentioned about those programs. Now the entry requirements, like IELTS or academic, if you just can highlight a little bit, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll pick this one up. So generally the IELTS is 6 with 5.5 in all 4 components. But for the likes of our nursing courses, especially the adult nursing at the undergraduate level and speech and language therapy, the IELTS is higher, and students do need to provide an IELTS, and they can't take the internal English test. But in terms of, let's say, entry requirements specifically for Nepalese students, to clarify, for undergraduate, they need a minimum of 2.6 GPA. So of course 60 to 70%. And for the postgraduate students, they need a 4-year bachelor's degree where the GPA is 2.8 out of 4. So that's crucially what we wanted to highlight there. I guess as well, just to clarify, with regards to study gaps, the study gap from high school to undergraduate is a maximum 2 years, and then from UG to PG, it's a maximum 5 years. And what we would advise within that is that your personal statement needs to be really strong. So you really need to kind of demonstrate what your skills are, why you want to study your particular course, so really explore the modules within that course as well. So obviously speak to Bradford Global, and they can help you kind of refine your personal statement. And especially if you have had an education gap, of 2 or 3 years, you really need to explain what you've been doing throughout that gap. So were you working, were you volunteering, or were you kind of exploring different avenues like traveling or so on? So that's really crucial there. Another thing I would mention as well, just on the personal statement topic, is that you need to explore why you want to study at the Montfort and how that's going to help you in your future career. What are your career goals after your studies? So yeah, that's what I'd mention there. In terms of, let's say, the offer letters, our admissions team generally looking at 2 weeks to get an offer letter. But what we would advise, kind of echoing what I mentioned at the start of the live session, is that if you are considering studying at the Montfort University, you really need to move forward with your application as soon as possible, so that we can get you on the system, so that we can book you in for a date test, and we can process your offer letter. So yeah, that's generally it at a high level. In terms of, let's say, visa interviews, so once you have received your, let's say, unconditional offer letter, you would need to pay a deposit to secure your place. At current, that deposit is £4,000. But if it does change, of course, there will be updates from now until then. But as soon as you secure your place, we'll book you in for a precast interview. And that precast interview will be with a DMU representative. And you'll be asked questions, in relation to your course, in relation to your travel kind of plans from Nepal to the UK. For instance, how are you traveling from London Heathrow to Leicester? Will you get a coach? Will you get a taxi? And so on. So it's really important that students prepare themselves, kind of over-prepare themselves in advance for these interviews. So yeah, that's generally it in terms of that as well. In terms of the COVID-19 situation, I think Martin has already touched on this, but believe me, it's dramatically improving. So we're really excited about that, and we're really confident that by September, fingers crossed, that students will be back in the classroom, and they can have that really immersive experience.
Yeah, we can't wait to see that happening. Martin, of course, I'm coming to you. So yeah, I want to hear from you, on any of the topics, and of course, the travel advice to incoming students to DMU from your side.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thanks. Yeah, just on the last point, the other thing I say that's really important, and as Joe was saying, why it's key that students start to apply now. We are starting to issue CAS, so that means that's what's used for students to get their visa. We're doing that 6 months ahead of the program start. So if you work that back from our September intake, that's not very far in the future from now. So there's every reason for students to start that process, because they can receive their CAS and apply for their visa, really quite soon. So that's key. Sorry, Perm, what was the question you wanted me to answer?
Well, I wanted to hear from you. What is the travel advice to the international students? There is lockdown in the UK at the moment, but it's not gonna be there for a long time because we are now talking about our next intake, that September intake at DMU. So of course, we're gonna see that lifted off anytime soon. But what would you suggest? They should wait until that lift off, or this is the time, Joe and Amar just mentioned, that this is the time to make application, and keep going with the offers and this precast interviews and deposits and all. So
Absolutely. As Joe explained, and Amber as well, it's really important that students start their application process now.
yep.
It's a fairly simple process, and obviously with support of Bradford Global, they will help you through that process. But there are lots of different things that need to happen before you're able to actually travel to the UK and join your program. So the sooner you start that process, the more time you have to go through it, if you like. So I really encourage students to do that, and also things like scholarships and discounts. Sometimes those we have in limited numbers, so the students that leave it late are less likely to benefit from one of those. Also, as Joe said, we have lots of students who didn't join the university last year because of the COVID situation. They're planning to join this year. We're already seeing that our application numbers are really, really high. Even though we're a very, very big university, we have around about almost 30,000 students, we still only have a certain number of people that we can teach. So obviously the students that leave it until the very last moment are the ones that are likely to be disappointed. So there's every reason to start the process now, and there's really no reason to wait until later. So that's the first. In the UK, like a lot of places in the world, we have some restrictions around the COVID situation, but as Joe said, that's improving significantly. And whilst I can't 100% guarantee, I'd be absolutely astounded if by September students were able to travel to the UK with flights with no restrictions. Once they arrive in the UK, no restrictions, and students will hopefully be able to just pretty much live and enjoy a student life that we've always enjoyed. So I think that's very, very, very likely to happen. And based on what we're seeing in terms of the statistics and the rollout of the vaccines, that's certainly the direction.
Absolutely. The other day, I was also watching the Prime Minister, sharing the updates about the COVID situation in the UK. And though he hasn't got any dates on his mind, but of course, he wants the cases down first, and then the vaccine rollout as quickly as possible. And glad to hear that compared to many countries, UK has advanced to its vaccine distribution. You already crossed, like you mentioned earlier, 16 million people got vaccinated with the first dose, and this is great news. And they're covering international students too over the time. And we of course, UK being one of the drug maker, the vaccine maker in the world, I believe it is working very hard towards vaccinating everybody in the country over the months to come. And I really like the way it is unfolding. It is moving forward. And of course, there is no reason we should stop making applications at the moment, because last year also, if you remember, back in July when we had this kind of session on our platform, that time also we were very hopeful, very optimistic, and then we're talking about September intake, and we had some students still applying, and from other countries, I believe you got many applications unexpectedly. That number was unbelievable one. I hear that from other institutes too. That means UK has been a destination which has been very flexible to international students in this challenging time as well. And that is a great thing happening. And of course, we are encouraged to guide more and more international students choosing the Montfort University. And of course, you guys are working day and night to make sure every single students get the offers and best programs and the scholarships and all as you can. And of course, this has given a positive message, and we are optimistic as well. Thanks for sharing that, Dr. Thanks for sharing that, Martin. So I would want Joe or Amar to talk about how does the application process goes, once let's say students are interested, so like they come to Bradford Global. We at Bradford collect every information and documents, and then how do we submit it to the university? I heard from Joe a few weeks back, now you have come up with some kind of portal things, or something that quickens, let's say, like that goes fast with the processing. So what is it, Joe?
Yeah. So basically, that of course is more so to kind of supplement you get in the student number quicker for the students to book the internal English test. So basically, with the online portal, of course, we would advise that, of course, yourselves at Bradford Global take the lead, apply on behalf of the student, and upload the documents at the point of submission, and then notify us once that has been uploaded onto the system, so that we can then share the student number with you and hopefully book the student in for an online English test. But crucially, what we would advise is that when students do, go to your office or contact one of your social media handles, and they're interested in Montfort University, is that they speak to one of your counsellors. One of your counsellors can really give them a detailed account of the courses, everything from the courses to modules to accommodation to outcomes at the university as well. And they can also use this live session and the previous live sessions that we've done as a kind of to give them more insight, to give them information about the courses, and if they've got any questions as well, you can then refer them onto the question and answer session. So I guess, if the student as well wanted to speak to us, or if they wanted to contact us via email, we're more than happy to do that. As well, we have now WhatsApp groups. So we have a WhatsApp group for all of our Nepalese students. Mm-hmm. So once they receive an offer letter, they'll be added into the DMU Nepalese WhatsApp group, and you can chat amongst each other. The students can get to know each other as well and ask questions to our student ambassadors. So that's a really, really good avenue for students to go down. And that's generally it. And we're hoping that all of this will improve the service for your students and kind of process the offer letters in a more efficient way than what we have previously. So watch this space, and we're very, very confident that we'll have that students will be satisfied and happy.
Yeah, that's great to hear from you. Of course, it's very exciting news for all of us, not just for students, but for ourselves as well, because applications are now processed even quickly, and now we have more confidence on your an approach to help the international students with their offers or decisions as quickly as they want. And of course, now, as I'm popping up the information, UK education export is equivalent to 25 billion pounds, right? So now the government is planning to increase that number to 600,000 students by 2030, 9 years from now. So Martin, as you are working on that, let's say, I'm not sure, you are working in that number, but of course we all are contributing to that number. So, but you're working with the higher administration, as I know. So what do you think, DMU should be going with the numbers, numbers of enrollments, increasing the international students at DMU community, or you always put forward the quality, the recognition of DMU over the numbers? So what is it?
Wow, that's a very good question. So just to give you an idea, we have around about a year 2,000 international students joining the university. Those come from around about 135 countries around the world. We also have in the region of 1,000 EU students, European students joining the university. So we have a pretty big number, and I think crucially the number of international and EU students is fairly large in proportion to the number of British students at the university. So it's a really good mix in that it's not a university entirely full of international and EU students, and it's not a university just with English British students. So there's a really good mix and a good feel for that. Absolutely, the university is looking for quality. One of the things, I think it's the third time I mentioned, that we have really good statistics in terms of how students do after they finish their program and go on to their lives and careers in the world. Part of that is making sure that the students that join the university have the academic ability, the English level to be able to participate in their chosen program and ultimately be successful in that program, so that when they leave the university, they have a good grade. So we're always, as an institution, we're keen to continue with the large number of international and EU students. If we grew that a little bit further, that wouldn't be a bad thing, but we wouldn't want it to be significantly larger, because it always has to be in balance with quality. And so students know that when they apply, the entry requirements we have, the English level that we set, is going to mean that once students meet those requirements, they really can feel comfortable when they join the university. They're going to be very, very well equipped to do very, very well in our programs. So, and as I said, once they do that, they can. It's really a massive bonus for the students to know that we have those statistics, that once they complete the program, they're going to be able to take that forward into the world. And we actually can prove that statistically rather than just talk about it.
Absolutely, I believe so, because compared to the past, like several years ago, there were many institutions who could actually sponsor the international students, and then I know, like for some time, UK has got some issues with that too. I believe, because I used to work at that time too, but now, like the government has come up with very shortlisted in sponsors, the institutions like DMU to offer to international students, and so that means like they have this very quality oriented institutions. So are the criteria to get into the programs, like for admission, like Joe mentioned earlier, like the academic requirement as well as the IELTS requirement. That means you are getting the students of quality only, right? Not just like money they will be carrying with to pay the tuition, or like to pay for their living during the study time. Rather, like they are bringing quality in themselves, so they are staying with the communities there. I think UK government is well prepared of that, and thanks for like highlighting those. Yeah, I feel good about that. Omar, because you were international student, and then now I would say, like how much prepared you think Leicester City or like the UK as a whole, like to welcome the international students, quote, like the future workforce, like they want to like bring in like let's say as many as possible for next few years, let's say. So do you think they have got all the infrastructures? You guys have got all this to offer to the international students? Just a little
That's
bit.
Yeah, of course. That's actually a very excellent question, and I'm sure Joe and Martin can support me on this, because they both live in city center of Leicester.
Okay.
In terms of, is it an international place? Absolutely, yes. You can find anything, and I literally mean anything. So if you're looking for Nepalese food, there, South Asian food, Middle Eastern food, South American food, everything is there. In terms of security, it's very safe. Is it affordable? Very affordable for an international student. Can you find part-time jobs? Absolutely. This is from the check box that I need to tick everyone, just to double check as an international student. Can you make friends easily? People are like De Montfort alone, we have over 130 plus different nationalities, so you can make friends there as well, so you will never feel alone. Excellent health system, of course, because of the GP, and the hospital is around the corner. Hopefully no one will need to visit, but just in case, it's there. Train station, there's an airport nearby, it's called East Midland Airport. In case it's not international, it's European and UK, but if you would like to travel, it's easy. You don't need the plane though, because by train it's just over an hour. By the time the guys finish chatting on Facebook, they will be in central London, so they can jump on the next underground and go to Heathrow if they would like to travel. Birmingham is an international airport. It's 45 minutes away from us, so it's not that difficult to go to an international airport. So in terms of location, it's not that cold, so it's not even like Scotland, for example, where the snow and the degree reached -20 in few weeks ago. No, it's not like this. We did have snow. It was lovely. Then the snow went away during the summer. It's absolutely amazing. Lots of greenery, places that you can visit. Yeah, I think about this is about it. I covered everything for an international student in
Yeah.
Leicester.
One more thing on top of that, like, Martin, I can go back to you, like, or like Zoe, please, you can jump in too. Like, so how many companies, like, do you think, like, they are going to accept, like, let's say, invite more like graduates into their company? Like, you have announced, like, the PSW for like 2 or 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So companies accepting those people. Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, good question. So so PSW, post-study work visa. So there's been new legislation brought in so that once students finish their programs successfully, they can they have a visa to stay in the UK for up to 2 years for working. So that's excellent. One of the really amazing things about the UK is that we have we're not a particularly a big country, but there's a lot going on, and there's a lot going on in terms of all aspects of life, but in business life as well. So certainly in the UK, in terms of a country of opportunity, it's absolutely fantastic, and I would argue would be right at the top of the list in terms of global countries, in terms of career opportunities. We have very low unemployment statistics. And the country is constantly looking to encourage people to come to the UK who are of a graduate level, because we need those people to work in some of our big and successful businesses to help those develop. So I would say, I'd really, if there's one thing I'd say in terms of the country, you wouldn't have to travel very far, but also in and around Leicester, there are many, many very large, influential, blue chip, international organizations very close where there are opportunities to work also. And there are many opportunities with those. What I would say is, as you'd expect, students need to, they're not just fall in their lap, they need to apply for those. And certainly, I think Amma mentioned in his presentation, we have at the university, within each of the faculties, career people who will actually help students with that process and explain some of the things that they need to do in terms of how people apply for opportunities of work within the UK, etc. So yeah, that's a very good opportunity for students in terms of joining serious companies and earning good money and having good career opportunities.
That's correct. I get to hear the same thing. Like, companies are ready to accept. Like, that's why, because you got several programs with the industry practice, let's say internship with them, and of course, like, while we have more and more international people coming in, then of course, like, you need more businesses to run, and then to cater them as well. Excuse me. Excuse me. And so that means, like, more companies will be willing to receive those workforce, and that means, that creates an avenues to those future graduates, and then you get some experience for their, like, career plans in the future. That's great to hear. Joe, as we are coming to the, like, the final session, like, to the towards the end of the session. So what do you think, like, so far, like, our market is treating you? Like, the students number, this applications and the quality of the applications. So what do you say about the students from our region coming to your office, admission office?
Yeah, generally the applications we're receiving from Nepal right now are of high quality, and they are as well of high volume, and that's something we're really excited about, because we want to start building up we do have a small to medium sized Nepalese community on campus, and we want to start building that, of course, for all of our students. Was a little bit of feedback. But yeah, that's a really good chance as well for students to make new friends within that community and also become a part of the Nepalese society. So for any students that are watching right now, you could one day maybe become the president of NEPSOC at DMU, or the events officer, or the inclusions officer, or treasury, and so on. And to be honest, that's not only a good way for you to make new friends and become, let's say, more involved with university life, but it's a good chance for you to practice leadership skills and get used to kind of having responsibility for you then when you go into job interviews or for your future career.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So DMU has got all the teams, let's say, not just processing the application. That's like first step for any international student to get into. The next thing would be the faculty themselves, the faculty of great background and in the respective fields, and also their research background and all that creates a great classroom. And those are the actually the assets of the campus that I know. I've gone through some of the pages of your university as well, and also great people at the administrative side as well. And I'm glad to hear about that new vice chancellor, right? She has just joined DMU, vice chancellor. Someone I forgot.
Yeah, so yeah, we had a new vice chancellor, and she actually only joined the university on the 4th of January. So that's really positive news, and we have a direction now, and she'll be here for the long time. So I'm sure she'll kind of put her mark on the university and the culture. So that's really positive, and we're really motivated by that as well.
Yeah, she seems welcoming, and of course, comes from that background. Who knows about being an international student as well? I mean, coming from hearing about her stories about her family, her struggle. I think that makes a very inspiring story for everybody. Inspiring thing to achieve in life. So Martin, what did you say? Somebody on the top leadership would make a change, bring any difference to the whole international community. When you are talking about international students, mixing up with the domestic one and making a great university.
Yeah. It's very important the what international students bring to the university, because as I think most people know, the UK is a very, we have grown over many hundreds of years by being international. We have in the UK many international people living here from all over the world, and as we've already talked about, Leicester particularly, we are really are an international city and a South Asian city, but in a harmonious way, and clearly, having people with different ideas, different cultures, combining and mixing together in a positive way, just adds benefits. In the same way as having a new vice chancellor, a lady, and obviously encouraging students from Nepal, female students, to join the university, and showing that it really doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. There's great opportunities within the UK, the city, and certainly at our university.
Yep, I think you said that right. A female representation means there is a lot more confidence on female students community as well. So though there is not been any inequality things ever in the UK or in the university, but of course people have that confidence. Let's say if I have somebody in the university from Nepal, and I'm coming to DMU as a student from Nepal, of course I feel good. It's you're a little feel some kind of vibes that brings in. Anyway, with that said, of course there are so many things. So Amar, so just two yes or no question. So UK is a country for you, for studies, or both study and career?
Both. Living, study, career.
Absolutely. Okay. Great, because you've been there as an international student now, doing this career. So I had to hear from you, and that's great. Thank you. All right, guys. Anything to add on here before we wrap up?
No, I'd love to say a couple of last things if I can, and probably just picking up again on where I started, and just to say, for international students, but specifically Nepalese students, I absolutely assure you the city is the very best city for you. It's really
It is.
a South Asian city. You're going to be very at home here. It's a very affordable city. That's key. We have a very broad program offering, so we're very likely to have the program type that you're looking for. And we've got some amazing statistics around after what happens to students after they finish their program with us and how well they do in their careers. We're looking as a country very good in terms of the COVID situation, so students can feel very comfortable, and their families that come September, you're going to be very, very, very safe here. And I think just on a personal level, in my family, I'm actually married to someone who has a South Asian background. So I personally really want to sort of welcome people from Nepal and South Asia region to the city and to the university. And if I could be so bold on a personal level, we find the Nepalese people to be absolutely charming. So we really hope that as many possible will apply and join the university. Thank you.
It's great to hear from you, and of course that means like you have a blend of life, from South Asia to Europe, and so that is somewhat that makes you feel about what other side of the world is living, enjoying their lifestyles, and your part comparison, and of course it helps you deal with the students or anybody from different hemispheres. What do you think, Joe? Because you've been into China as well, Joe. So you should talk about your Asian, experience, and also glad to repeat here, you have visited Nepal. So of course, we thank you for visiting our country. So China, Nepal, England. So what is it the experience?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I guess the every experience is different, isn't it? And I guess the kind of mirroring Amar's comments about studying abroad, living abroad in a different country, it really does, and speaking from experience as well, it really does kind of broaden your horizons. Literally, when your students, decide to study at Montfort, when they come here, they're really going to have a life-changing experience. They're going to change as a person. They're going to meet new people. They're going to learn new things as well, which are going to last a lifetime. I have friends from China, got friends in Nepal as well, and I'm sure Amar has friends in every single country. So that's what happens if you live your life inside of a box. You're not going to go anywhere. So that's the unique thing. And I guess studying in the UK and specifically at Montfort University will offer you this experience, because you'll come across people from all over the world. So you meet some great individuals that are going to help make a real impact on yourself.
That's true. You said that right. Of course, it's not just about visiting the UK or being there for a while. It's more about achieving your degree, and then in the meantime experiencing that campus life and making the friends from different parts of the world, and who could turn into your life, or in your lifetime friends, or that way of course helps everybody. So I feel that too, and I accept that. And that's the beauty of being an international student. So it's just not about how much you pay to the university, but how much time and then networking you build upon your graduation. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Emma. Go ahead. I'll let you answer.
No. Go ahead. I would love to hear about your story, and then I'll start mine.
Yeah, please.
I was just going to say 100%. like Pawan has just said, studying abroad is pretty much an investment in yourself and your future. So do look at the bigger picture. Do look at the outcomes you're likely to have studying abroad and at Montfort University, because that's really going to help you going forward. I'll pass the mic over to Amar, who would be more than happy to share his study experience and how, let's say, life-changing the UK has been for him.
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely spot on, Joe. The only thing I would add is sometimes when we watch TV, we think we know about the culture. It's not. It's when you interact with people and you network with people, and that's how I learned about different cultures and different customs, and it really helped me with my job as well. So definitely, I would say this is the best investment that you can do for your future is to come and study in the UK. As you know, it's the world educational hub. So hopefully this will give you the experience, the networking, and hopefully a future comfortable job that you can settle in.
Hmm. How much do you agree, Martin? We need to hear
Yeah,
your experience too.
absolutely. I benefited when I was younger from, I grew up overseas. In my adult life, I've lived overseas and I brought up my family overseas.
Okay.
And if there's one thing that I've learned, and I'm obviously a little bit older than all you young gentlemen here, is that to have a successful career and an interesting life, it's important, as Joe alluded to, that you should broaden your horizons, are willing to try different things, to go different places, to meet different people, and I think crucially to surround yourselves with interesting people who are also like yourself looking to, to be successful in their lives, personal lives and careers. And certainly, students from Nepal planning to come to the UK and study in Leicester, and everything that we have to offer, everything the city has to offer, and obviously the people, that's a clear, a life investment.
Absolutely. All right. With that notes, it's great, experience that you all of us have shared here, and of course, this is just not talks that we are making here, but it's more about our life experience. So it would be the story of. Next person joining us here today, and the students who would actually think about theirs in the future too. So that was for the purpose, and of course it's a lovely session, as well as a great discussion with every one of you. Thanks Martin, thanks Zoe, thank Amar for your time today, and it's been wonderful as always. I love to say that it's our great partnership with working together. I mean, together working with DMU, Montfort University in Nepal and globally. So thank you for that opportunity, and we look forward to serving our potential students choosing DMU. All right.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Cheers. Take care. See you later.
Okay. Bye. And dear viewers, thanks for joining us today. And absolutely, we want to announce about our next session that is on Monday, the 22nd February, and we'll have our popular university in South Asia and of course in the world international arena, and we have the University of Wolverhampton, and we'll have Mr. Bras Busunja, who is the regional head for South Asia. That of course includes Nepal, and you'll be visiting our office at 10 a.m. Until 12:30 p.m. the same day, that is coming Monday, at our new Baneswar office. Please feel free to contact us or directly visit us with your document. And please note that University of Wolverhampton has got many students from Nepal already into the campus, and it is quite popular for its great programs at both levels, postgraduate as well as undergrad. They have great programs at masters, that is postgraduate. Even in this May intake, we call it mid intake, as well as September, the largest intake for this year. And Mr. Jha has made his plan to come and see you at our office. Please feel free to join that session, or face-to-face counseling, have your questions answered, and if you feel ready, you can start your application. So again, from this platform also, I would like to welcome Mr. Bras Bisanza, the regional head for South Asia for the University of Wolverhampton, UK. please come and see our students and help them make their decision, make their plans to the University of Wolverhampton. And we would love to have you in our office next week. That is Monday. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. And of course, today's session with the Montfort University absolutely went well. I hope you feel the same thing. And it's all about how we gonna make our the choices about programs, the university, and while you're thinking about studying in the UK. And I believe we have helped to some extent for your plans. As you all know, we have this whole month until March 11th. We are running this UK Education Policy Fair, and we have some universities already done with the session, and we have many more coming for next per how many days? Let's say until 11. So it's another 20, 21 days. Okay. So our intention, our idea is to give you right information right from the university people, university representatives. So it helps you make your plans even more effective. All right. So stay tuned in. And I'm here from California. I'm the managing director of Bradford Global. And we are in New Baneswar in Nepal as the head office, and also in Putali Sadak as our study center. Also, we are in San Francisco, and soon we'll be expanding to other countries as well. So please stay tuned in. And the foremost thing is, wherever we are, we love you. We love to serve you all while it is about your study plans abroad. Okay, be it in the UK or US or Australia or Canada or New Zealand. Okay, please stay tuned in. I'll come up with more programs on this platform. Please let us know how you feel, and please feel free to how you feel and how you achieve from this kind of session. Of course, we want you to succeed in all your plans. Okay, and our team at Bradford Global in New Baneswar office are ready to welcome you anytime. All right, till then, bye. Stay safe. See you soon. Happy weekend.